Chapter 5 of Comenius' Vestibulum de Rebus Domi, of things at home, essential vocabulary for getting around the world in the 17th century. Much of this, of course, is still useful. Pulsa fores, knock at the doors, si clausae sint, if they are closed. Cum aperitur, when the door is opened. Ostium transi, cross the threshold. Et intra in atriam, and go into the hallway, into the court. Clavis claudit serram, a key locks a lock. Iterumque recludit, and unlocks it again. Clavus fingitur, a nail is fastened. Pavimentum calcamus, we tread on the floor. Laquiar nobis impendit, a roof, it hangs over us. Fenestrae sunt vitrae, windows are of glass. Hypocaustum calefit, the main room of the house is warmed. Back then, and also in many parts of the world even today, only the living room in winter was heated up, and the other rooms in the house were only heated when necessary. So, camerae frigent, chambers are cold, that's the other rooms in the house. In cistis et arcis abscondimus res, we conceal things in chests and in cupboards. In corbibus portamus, we carry things around in baskets. Succus non servatur in sacco, juice is not kept in a bag. And this is the kind of linguistic joke that Comenius does a lot to help his students learn. Remember, this was aimed at little children, so succus non servatur in sacco, lots of alliteration there, and it's a bit silly, which helps you remember it. In cubiculo sunt lecti, there are beds in a chamber, in a bed chamber. Pulvinaribus strati, covered with pillows, feather beds. Cervical subdimus cervici, we lay a pillow under the neck. So cervical subdimus cervici. Tegitibus nos integimus, we cover ourselves with covers, that's bedspreads and sheets and stuff. Cubantes supini vel proni, lying either face up or face down, supine or prone. Matula est pro urina, the piss pot is for urine. Et sequesus, and the privy, that's the lavatory or bathroom for you Americans. Sequesus pro alvo levanda, for easing out the belly. Excrementa foetent, excrement stinks. Ture suffimus, we perfume with frankincense. Of course, nowadays we just use a nice deodorant spray, but it's the same idea. Faciem lavamus quotidie, we wash our face daily. In balneo sudamus, we sweat in a bath. Sudariis tergimus nos, we wipe ourselves with napkins, in other words with face cloths or whatever. Tonsor tondet crines, a barber cuts the hair. Pectit commam pectine, he combs the hair with a comb. Maculae absterguntur spongia, dirt spots are wiped out with a sponge. Quisquiliae veruntur scopis, little bits of rubbish on the floor, quisquiliae, sweepings, are swept away by means of brooms. Quisquiliae veruntur scopis. Indusium et tunicam, toracem, so our shirt and tunic, and our doublet, well, sort of a thing like that. Femoralia, breeches. Tibialia, and our stockings. Induimus et exuimus, we put on and we take off. Quoties opus est, as often as necessary. Pallium et togam amicimus, we put on a jacket and a gown. Pilei et collaria, that is caps and neckbands, collars. Chirotacae et sandalia, sandals and gloves. Sunt honestatis ergo, are for credit's sake. In other words, they make us look, I suppose, more civilized. Cingulo nos cingimus, we gird ourselves with a belt, we tie a belt around our waists. Ligulis astringimus, and if you were indeed, back in the old days, wearing hose, then you would tie them with little little cords called points. Ligulis astringimus, we tie our hose with points so they don't fall down in public, which would be rather embarrassing. Mapa sternimus mensam, we cover a table with a tablecloth. Ad iusculum et pulmentum est cochlear, a spoon is used for soup and porridge. Edulia alia scinduntur cultro, other meats are cut with a knife. Muscas abige muscario, drive away flies with a fly swat. Tolle patinas, take away the cover. Infunde in poculum, and pour into the cup, because liquids were always kept covered for health's sake. Propina hospitibus, and drink to the guests. Accende candelam, light a candle. Inde candelabro, and from it, or put it into the candlestick. Emunge emunctorio, snuff it out with a snuffer. Sed ne extinguas, but don't blow it out. Vir et mulier sunt conjuges, man and woman are yoke fellows. In other words, they are a team. Vidus ducit interdum virginem, a widower, that's a man who's lost his wife, sometimes marries a young lady. Sponsus habet sponsam, a bridegroom has a bride. Post nuptias, after marriage. Maritus maritam, a husband has a wife. Puerpera peperit puerum, a woman in childbed has brought forth a child. Hunc osculatur nutrix, the nurse kisses him. Fovetque in gremio, and hugs him in her lap. Filius est haeres, the son is an heir. Filia accipit dotem, the daughter receives a dowry. And that's how it was, and that's how it still is in some cultures. For example, in Bangladesh, right? The son is the heir, especially the oldest son, and the girls go off and live with their in-laws and receive a dowry. Parentes educunt sobalem, parents bring up their issue, that's their children. Vitricus et noverca privignos, a stepfather and a stepmother bring up their stepchildren. Libri sunt liberi, children are free. Servi serviunt, servants serve. Ministri ministrant. Servants also serve. Ministers minister, in other words. Famuli famulantur. And household attendants do household service. Ancillae ancilantur. Maidservants wait. In other words, they also work in the house. Patrus et amita. An uncle and an aunt. Sunt patris frater. Are the father's brother, et soror and sister. Avunculus et matertera matris. Avunculus and matertera are the mothers. Avi habent nepotes. Grandfathers have nephews. Cognati affines. And kinsmen have kindred by marriage. And that's the end of chapter 5 of Comenius, going through things to do with the house, a bit about food and the family. And that's the end of the chapter. Bye.